Bipasha and I used to be in one room most of the times. We would be rooming together.
Hi Aditi.
Hi.
We're going to show you a bunch of your pictures and memories, and you're going to tell us the stories behind them. So let's go.
Yes, this is the first photograph. My God, this was the first professional portfolio that I shot for myself. This was shot by Dabu Ratnani at a under construction building in Bandra. I still remember where it was, and when I saw the pictures I was amazed because I didn't expect the pictures to be so nice. So it came as a pleasant surprise to me. Being a nerd from a medical college to have a photograph like that was awesome. This is my mother, my source, my origin. We had gone as a family to a little hillock behind, not behind really, but near my home in Panvel, so behind my home, so to say. It was about half an hour's drive, and the whole family decided to go on this little mini hike / trek kind of a situation. And my mother walked all the way, which was awesome. She's 76. So yeah, this picture is from that time. So I am quite an adrenaline junkie. I have participated in Fear Factor or Khatron Ke Khiladi. This was in Switzerland, and I thought this was the most beautiful experience, most serene. It felt like, I was literally floating in clouds, which I was, and the views were just amazing. It was a fantastic experience. This photograph is from the lavender fields, and it's my favorite flower, my favorite fragrance as well. It really relaxes me, and I apply a little bit of lavender oil just before I sleep. So this was a very beautiful memory. The not so beautiful memory of this was when I sat down to take a picture in between these rows. A bee entered my pants, and I still wanted to take the photograph. So I still pretended or managed to pose, but then when I stood up, I was like in pain for a couple of days after that. So this is what I call my retirement plan. These are my girlfriends. I know them for like Wabis I know for 25 years, Delnaz I know for 25 years, Malaika I know since 2008, and Rita again I know for about 20 years. So we keep joking that we are all going to retire. We are going to take a plot of land and build homes and stay there all together. So this is the retirement plan. But this photograph, of course, is from a Diwali party that we had gone for. So that's why we are dressed up in all finery and Indian clothes. This is from Lakme Fashion Week. I don't remember the designer, unfortunately, but yeah, those days walking for Lakme Fashion Week was a big deal. And when they launched the first Fashion Week, I was part of that. And well, now it's of course gone way beyond what it was that time. But even at that time, it was really great to walk for all these designers. We would do about 3 to 4 shows a day, which also meant that we had to change our hair, our makeup, and it was not just plain blow dry. It used to be back combed, and we used to have these big nests on our head, and like you can see, the makeup is quite heavy, and we had to wash it off, all of it, and then they redid the makeup because the look used to be very different. This is how I became a model. This is how I started modeling, came into the glamour field, because at this time I was doing my 3rd year MBBS, and I had taken a break from my college to go and attend the pageant. I never thought I would win, but wearing this sash and this is what was the reason why I'm sitting in this chair, because as a doctor I don't think I would have had this opportunity, maybe some others, but yeah, this was the beginning of it all. The funny man, the hilarious man, the man with amazing sense of humor, and what a great person he is. I had a blast shooting for this episode on Kapil Sharma, and I really wish that I someday would get a one-to-one with him, because that time I was with a lot of people. We were some 8 of us. So the screen time, so to say, was not to my satisfaction. So I'm manifesting this, that maybe I will be on Kapil Sharma's show just by myself. This was shot at Earth. It was a club in New York. And when we did this show, it was in midst of winter. So there was snow outside. It was really crazy. But luckily, of course, we were indoors, and this was Manish Malhotra's show, which we did over there. And then, of course, after the show, we were all layered up and we partied, and then we went home. But to think about this photograph being shot when outside, it was like maybe in minus something. So yeah, it was a great show. That's me. This was a stunt in Fear Factor, where we were standing, I think, on the 26th floor or something of one building, and on the other side there was the other tower where they had put this plank which was about this broad, and then in the center, in the middle of the two buildings, it became narrower, it became half size, and we were cycling from one side to the other. Now it's difficult to do that because it's not like you can just pretend that you can't see the depth or the height because you're cycling, so automatically you land up looking down. So that was a very difficult one. We did have a harness, but you know what, when you're there, when you're actually bicycling, you forget that the harness is going to protect you, and when you fall, it's quite a crazy moment, and none of us made it till the other end. Some people landed up going a few meters, somebody a little beyond, but everybody fell, and the cycle fell down like right to the ground. So it was a tough one. This is a photograph from Mismatched, which was my first OTT series. It was on Netflix. It really became very, very popular. Rohit and Prajakta were the main leads. I played Rohit's mother, and what a cute son. He's as nice as my son, I would say. And of course, Prajakta is full of life, very bubbly, really easy to get along. And it was a great cast. The majority of the people were youngsters. They were 24, 25. So it was great interacting with them and to listen to their conversations. Got to learn a lot about this generation. This photograph is the Muhurat of Smile Please, a Marathi film in which I played the same profession that I have been practicing, which is a psychologist. I play a psychologist in this, and it is a beautiful film. If you've not watched it, I recommend you watch it. And it's not because I am in it, but really, I mean, the story touches your heart. It's a very beautiful story. So this is again part of the first photograph. If you remember what we saw, this was the same time that this was shot. The interesting thing in this photograph is that I was not sure about this hairstyle because again, I had come from a medical college to come and shoot for this portfolio, and I'm so uncomfortable with this. At the most, I used to tie a ponytail or maybe make a bun, but this, like a ghosla thing, was not my cup of tea. So I wasn't very happy over here. I don't know if you can make out, but no, I wasn't. This was at Vikram's house. Vikram Fadnis is a dear friend of mine. He is a designer. I know him before he became a designer. I know him when he was a choreographer. He used to do choreography of fashion shows. And when I won Gladrags Supermodel, at that time I started getting a lot of calls to walk the ramp, which I was not very comfortable doing that because that was not part of my DNA. So I said that, okay, if I'm going to do this, I need to be prepared. I need to know how to walk properly. So I caught hold of Vikram. I said, Vikram, you got to teach me how to walk. So I still remember in his living room, he has taught me how to walk. And this was, of course, much later. This was a few years back that he had a Christmas party at his house, and that's a picture from that time. This was a get-together at Sangeeta Chopra's house. I think one of the girls who lives abroad, she was visiting Mumbai, and Sangeeta Chopra kind of invited all the models of my time. Some of them are before my time. And it was a great get-together. I think there's Juhi Chawla also in this. Yeah, there's Juhi Chawla and Sangeeta, and that's Sangeeta's mother, Shanti Auntie. Sangeeta is the reason why I continued doing ramp shows. She did the choreography for Gladrags, which I won, and then she would call me to do her shows as a ramp model, and she and I had a lot of friction, so to say, but we always used to land up laughing because she's like, how are you a medical student? Because I would not get her choreography. She had the most complicated choreography ever. I used to write essays, and everybody, of course, used to make fun because I used to have like a proper theory going ahead, So I used to do practicals and I had theory. So I was very scientific about it, and I used to make diagrams and all those things. So this was one of the fashion shows, Delhi Designer AMPM. For them, I was the showstopper. So this was from there. This photograph is a fashion show in Dubai. We did this for Arjun Khanna, and I remember this photograph clearly and this show clearly because I had a flight to catch immediately after the show, because I was going somewhere else, and the show started late and it was full panic. Arjun was also like, he was like, oh my god, let's begin, because I had a flight to catch. And very sweet of them, they had kept the car ready. The minute I finished, I didn't even change. I changed at the airport. So I've traveled in this look to the airport, the funny things that we do as models. This is Sameera Reddy, powerhouse of a woman. The reason she just is so aware and so accepting of who she is and what she is. I know she's had a tough journey. She did have a lot of complexes, and she says that. She tells you about it, which is great, because to be vulnerable is a strength that I have not seen in too many people, and she has that. So kudos to her. We did a film called De Danadan together, and the joke there was that there were 23 known artists. So we would joke with Priyan that even the dead body is somebody known, So she was part of that project with me. This was a brave thing which I wanted to do, one of the to-do lists on the bucket list that I have. This was in Thailand, I think, somewhere. They had this park where you could, do these things. They also had a potion in a jar which had a snake inside and various other creepy crawlies, and then they offered that drink for you to drink, which I did not do. I'm a vegetarian, so this is where it ends. This is where I draw the line. I cannot do more than this. So with Bipasha Basu, Bipasha, I and Ujjwala Raut, we won our pageants in the same year. So in 1996 is when I won Gladrags Supermodel, she won Godrej Supermodel, and Ujjwala Raut won Face of the Year by Femina. So 3 of us won in the same year, and after that 3 of us did a lot of ramp shows together. We traveled quite a bit, and Bipasha and I used to be in one room most of the times. We would be rooming together. We've gone to New York many times. I remember in Jaipur we did a show at a place called Choki Dhani where it rained, and it being Jaipur, it was not so bad, the rain, but water collected in that space where we were going to. It was an outdoor show where we were going to do a show. So we thought, okay, that's it. We are not going to be able to do the show. They said, no, we will still continue doing the show. We will not wear heels because the ramp is slippery. We'll walk bare feet. And I kid you not, people were standing there in rain. There's like ankle deep water with umbrellas, and we walked with drizzle and we've done the show. So yeah. We've had many memories. This is my latest baby, which I'm very, very passionate about. This is Marvelous Mrs. India Season 2. This happened last year in Udaipur, and the reason why I started this was because being a medical doctor, being a psychologist, having walked the ramps for so many years, winning Mrs. World, Gladrags Supermodel, so on and so forth, I also trained Miss Indias, Mrs. Indias. I said that, okay, now it's time for me to start my own pageant, because from what I saw, where I used to get invited as a judge for many beauty pageants, that most of the pageants were rigged, and secondly, the participants weren't getting the experience that I got as a participant of a beauty pageant. I wanted to recreate that magic. I wanted them to have memories which they would cherish all their life. At the same time, making them aware of certain issues such as self-worth, such as who am I? Because after a point, a woman who's married, who has children, who's busy with work, forgets her own self-worth. So that sense, that confidence to bring it back is something that I have taken on, and we just finished season 3. This is a photograph of season 2. The beauty about my winners, and I'm very proud of all the participants, is that the season 1 winner is a practicing doctor in US. The second winner, that's Salona, she embraces her curves like no other. And the third one, my third winner, she's a 58-year-old or 58-year young woman, and she is the fittest out of all 3 seasons. She's that fit at 58. So she's an amazing, amazing lady. Does not dye her hair. She carries her grey with elan. And that's what I say, that this pageant is for real women.